Good morning, good morning, good morning. It is I, Kendall Anise, the Remix Coach, and this is Morning Conversations. Hey, everybody, I hope you are having an amazing morning thus far. Good morning, good morning, good morning. I am streaming live on Instagram, Facebook, and YouTube. Facebook, YouTube, and Instagram. I'm told on YouTube you can hit the little dots and you can give a thank you offering. It's like $1. My Cash App is $ Kendall Denise. I know a couple people asked. I'm just giving that. All right. So the last 2 days we've been talking about heavy subjects. We've been talking about stress and anxiety, depression. We talked about the fake smiles and not having the happy smiles and pretending to be happy when you're not. Ironically, I have my happiness shirt on. But we talked about that. So the last few morning conversations, they have been heavy. So I made a smoothie. Let me tell you what I have in here before we get started. I have spinach, avocado, mango, banana, and some flaxseed. So that's what I'm having for breakfast. All right. Good morning, everybody. Good morning. Good morning. Good morning. Make sure you share if you can share this video this morning. We are talking about the 5 love languages. Since it's been so heavy and we've been talking about real stuff, this is still real, but we were talking about heavy subjects the last couple of days. I decided to keep it light on Fun Friday. Woo! All right. So the 5 love languages. Many people ask, what's your love language? First of all, I have taught people love language. You would think now that everybody knows what the 5 love languages are by Gary Chapman. He wrote a book back in 1992, y'all. Some of y'all are alive and thriving. Some of y'all weren't even born yet. And everyone talks about the 5 love languages. What are your 5 love languages, right? And some know about it, some don't. Some have taken the test. Some can tell you what their love language is without taking a test, and that's fine too. That means that you know yourself and you love yourself. Of course, there are more love languages than just 5, but those are the initial love languages. So love languages is basically an outline of 5 general ways romantic partners express and experience love, which Gary Chapman calls the love languages. They are acts of service, gift giving, physical touch, quality time, and words of affirmation. Saying some good words to you, saying some kind things to you. Acts of service could be putting gas in the car, picking up a prescription from the pharmacy, making the bed, whatever the acts of service is, something that you normally do, but someone kind of takes the load off. I know that's one of my love languages, acts of service. Doesn't have to be large. It could be something that just takes the extra, load off of me. Words of affirmation. Good morning, everybody. Good morning. Good morning. Welcome in. Welcome in. All right. So when it comes to love languages, I want to know, what are some of your love languages? So I want to talk about this. And of course, I'm not going to be before you long. So how do you express your love languages? What are your love languages? And the way it's set up in Gary Chapman's book and the quiz that you can take right online for free. And it's interesting because throughout the many years, I have taken the love language test. Good morning. Quite a few times in different stages in your life, depending on where you are in your life, depending on where you are in love. If you're trying to find love or seek love or just loving yourself, it's been, mine have ranked differently as I've gotten older, as I've experienced things. You can see the differences in your love language. It's not always the same. Some of the core ones are the same, but sometimes they flip, because in the love language test, good morning, hey Anthony, good morning, it's not that the others don't matter. It's the ranking that you do at that time. What comes first? Like somebody's might be quality time and gift giving. That might be their first two. I think my first two, the last time I took it, was words of affirmation and acts of service. And then it went down. And gift giving was the last one. And I'm like, I like gifts. Like I do. How is that? I guess I'm a little deeper than that. So the gift giving was at the end. It doesn't mean that it's not important. It just means that the other ones ranked higher. And it's always interesting to me because I'm like, who don't like gifts? I like great gifts, especially surprises when it's a great surprise. I don't like no bad surprises, but I do like good surprises. Welcome, welcome. Make sure you share this live. All right. So when it comes to love languages, I ask you again, listen, if you're watching, what is your love language? Because a few years ago, I saw this video and they were talking about there's a sixth love language, and it's being seen. Seen for your heart, seen for your spirit, seen from the inside out, not looking at the physical or what somebody looks like or what somebody does, or it's about like really knowing the person inside, feeling seen, feeling valued. So I would say that's one of mine also, the sixth one. God bless you too. Hey Eddie, how you doing? All right. So let's talk quickly about the love languages. I'm going to pull this up. So when Gary Chapman decided to create these back in 1992, it was to show couples how to make their love last by learning to recognize the unique way their partner feels. Because what people do when they come into a relationship, hey, Kevy Kev, when people come into a relationship, they try to love you like they loved the last person, the last woman, or the last man. And they try to give the same type of love to the next person, and then wonder why the love is not lasting or the relationship is not working. Is because they're trying to love. It's like giving somebody else the shoes that you gave the last person, where the last person's shoes could have been a size 7 and this new person is a size 10. Ain't no way they putting their foot in a size 7. Love is not a one size fits all. That's why the sixth love language, being seen, is important to me, because you got to see that person and you have to love that person accordingly. But with love, most people have the capacity to love that they have, right? You can't give somebody a fuller capacity or different experience, because people love based off of experience. Hey, Melissa, people love based off of what they may need. And then they love someone according to what they think they need. Just because you need a type of love doesn't mean the person that you're trying to love needs that same type of love, right? So that's why you have to get to know someone. That's why the 5 love languages, that does help. That creates a conversation. How do you want to be loved? Because think about it. Good morning, Sheila. Hey, cousins. People want to love. Hey, Shira. All my cousins coming in. People want to be loved how they need to be loved and not how you loved the last one. And that's why it's important to have conversation. To keep it real, most people, when they get into a relationship or they start dating, they don't ask someone, how do you want to be loved? They just think, I got this, I know how to love or not. And then they give you that, or they give you what they're lacking. And some people don't even have the capacity to love. So I think the 5 love languages is a great start, because it opens up the door for dialogue and conversation for people to have. Like, how do you like to be loved? Somebody might be holding somebody's hand. Let's just say physical touch might be their jam. It might be how they love. And then the person they're loving don't want you to hold their hand or touch you. That's not their love language. But their love language is, let's just say, words of affirmation. Like, you are amazing, you're beautiful, oh, I love the way you planted those flowers, or oh, blah blah blah. That might be their love language. So if somebody doesn't want to hold your hand or hug or express love in that way, don't think that they don't love you. That's why these conversations are important, because if somebody's love language is physical touch and their mate's love language is not physical touch, that argument is going to come up over and over again, because that person is going to feel unloved because they're not being touched with hugs and holding and different things like that, right? Yes, Melissa, because you know what I mean? And it's so interesting because relationships break up every day because the lack of communication when it comes to how to love. Like, it's just not an easy thing. That's why you see people breaking up all the time. So, and the person who loves physical touch, whether it's a male or female, and they're dating somebody who doesn't, then they have to evaluate and say, well, is this something, if it never changed, could I live with this the entire relationship? If this aspect never changes, if this person never wants to touch me, never wants to hug me, but they love me, will that work for me? And some may say that's a deal breaker. Some may say yes, because my second love language may be acts of service, because they don't show me physically that they love me, but they show me by putting gas in my car, by cooking me dinner, or by taking me out to dinner, or making sure that whatever load I have, they take it off to show that they care, and that might be how they show love, because we have to remember our family origins are totally different. So how we were raised may be different from how somebody else was raised. I met a girl that I used to work with. I'm a hugger, right? And I met a girl that I used to work with. And just like women do, they'd be like, hey, girl. And I went to go hug her. And she kind of was like this. She was not feeling it. And of course, it wasn't a romantic thing. It was just like you do your homegirl, your friend. And she told me, she said, in my household growing up, we did not hug. My parents did not hug. They did not promote hugging. Sorry, my smoothie break. You ever have a smoothie and just make you go like this? Or is that just me? But she never liked hugging. And she said she had to learn to hug and she had to get comfortable. Then her man that she was with, and she was with him for years, she did not show affection in the touching way. And at first it was a problem for him, because she wasn't a hugger. She wasn't a toucher, a public, affection type of person, or even privately. And that was something that they had to get past. And they decided that their love was worth getting past that. And then you have, which one did I want to talk about? Wait a minute, 1 second. Let me see. I want to break them down for you real quick. And then you have some people that, gifts make them uncomfortable. When they get gifts, they don't know how to respond because if they're used to giving gifts, right? But they take the test and their acts of, I was going to say acts of service, gift giving is number one. They may not even realize that they like gifts because they're uncomfortable getting gifts. You ever met somebody like that? You give them a gift, they're like, oh, thank you. And you like, are they appreciative? Do they like my gift? They do, but they don't know how to respond. Yes, Melissa, I'm a hugger too. So when I see you, girl, we gonna hug. I'm a hugger. And everybody is not like that. Some people didn't grow up even with their parents hugging them, so they don't know how to respond. They'll just stiff up. You know how like the babies stiffen up when you try to pick them up because they don't know what to do. Shara says, or in a couple of days, if you give them something that they ask from you, something beneficial, even though they just treated you a certain way. Explain that, Shira. I want to make sure I understand you correctly. Sheila, all right, so it's hugs, cousin. When we get together, definitely a hugger. So I'll ask the huggers out there, is physical touch your love language? Because although I'm a hugger, physical touch doesn't rank high in my love language chart. Now, all the love languages, for those that just tuned in, all the love languages are still your love language, but depending on when you take the test and how you take it, some things rank higher. My ranks, the last time I took it was words of affirmation and acts of service. I think acts of service was first, and then gift giving was last. And I like a good gift. I don't understand, but taking the test and reading the questions at the time that I've read them. Oh, the other part was there. Okay. Is love language when someone talks or becomes argumentative, then they say something nice later? No, that could be gaslighting, that could be narcissism, or that could be emotional abuse. When they're talking nice to you, or they tear you down and then maybe talk nice to you later. Is that what you're saying? Because whether the woman does it or the man does it, it's unhealthy. So that's not a love language. Although now we know that there are love languages outside of the five love languages, right? Sheila said that's definitely narcissism. Yeah, because it's a form of manipulation. That's exactly what that is. But and unfortunately, that could be somebody's love language because they weren't taught how to love properly. And they could be battling between the two within themselves. And that could be coming from unhealed spaces. And y'all know I love talking about that. Unhealed spaces. So that's what that could be. And I want to break down this for a second. So, love language, of course. So, acts of service, let's go with that first. So, it involves one person giving up their time in service of the other person. At face value, it appears the most selfless of all love languages. Not that it's a competition, but because it requires both attention and intention. And I love that. That is like that's one of my top love languages, acts of service. Listen to this again. It requires both attention, ATTENTION, and intention, INTENTION, or INTEN, yeah, TION, right? So not only do you give up your time to honor the people who mean the most to you, but you pay enough attention to know what they would like the most. That's my number one love language. I'm sorry. Like if you see me eating almonds one day, right? And then you don't see me eating almonds for a month, and you come and you bring me some almonds, I'm like, you noticed that I had an almond right there? And I like the one that, you get what I'm saying? Or except for somebody who loves M&Ms and they happen to mention in a conversation, I love me some M&Ms, and going about their business. And then one day, you get some M&Ms right there, because that's not a gift. That's like an act of service. Like, you know what? I'm going to do that for you. I'm going to, if you cook every single day, I'm going to make sure you have something to eat. That's an act of service. Whether they cook it, whether they buy it, that's an act of service. The little things that that's why my sixth one is feeling seen, like feeling known. Like even if I say, "Ooh, girl, your feet stink." "Oh boy, your feet stink." Even like if I'm telling one of my good girlfriends or my man, "Oh, your feet stink." They know me, so they know that it's not malicious. They know I really don't believe your feet stink. Or if I do, that I can say it in humor or funny. You get what I'm saying? They would know me and not be like, "Oh, she trying to be mean. Why she trying to be mean?" If you knew my heart, you knew I'm not mean. You know what I mean? So that's feeling seen, as well as love language. So not only do you give up your time to honor people who mean the most to you, but you pay enough attention to know what they would like the most, whether it's a cooked meal, whether it's your favorite food, whether they wash your car, because they know how you feel when you're driving in a clean car, right? Or they know how you feel. If y'all know I've been, on this fitness journey and working out and stuff, and you know that I'm doing that, and then all of a sudden you say, "You know what? I got these sweatshirts to work out in," or "I got you these sneakers to do." It's not like, "Oh, it's a gift." It's intentional. Like you paid attention to the things I'm doing, and you said, "I'm going to do that." Like I wear silver jewelry a lot. Somebody come and get something simple or silver. It's like, "Oh, you notice. I used to wear gold. I do wear silver every day. Oh, you notice." So you give me this. It's not about the gift. It's about the paying attention and seeing me. Anybody know me know I love a good autobiography, and I love to read. I done read about 15, 16 books this year alone. So if somebody got me a book, it's like, I like autobiographies. I just finished Kerry Washington's, read Jada's twice already, but that's a whole nother thing. Okay, so receiving gifts. Let's talk about that. Small gestures, and I like simple stuff. Like I'm the type that you give me a gift, it could be something so small, and it's just that you thought of me and that you noticed something. You know what I mean? That can get you far. If you get me, say for instance, and I'm not, but I say for instance, I was allergic to dogs, right? And I done said it to you 50, 11 times in conversation. And then one day you come to me and say, "I bought you a dog." That's not you. You ain't paying attention to me. Good morning. Good morning. Good morning. Good morning, everybody. I see you. All right, Shira. When I reach out to my daddy to do something like a post regarding his birthday or Father's Day, then when my mom, who's not biological, my mom is in, it's a situation. Oh, because you do something, and then she sees, and then she's not that person, so you look like you love your daddy the most and she doesn't. Is that what you're saying? Because you know the type of love language? Is that what you're saying? All right, so let's talk about receiving gifts until Shira gets back to me. Good morning, everybody. Good morning. Good morning. Okay, so small material gestures go a long way in the realm of this love language when we're talking about receiving gifts. It's not about the superficial that people would think with giving gifts, though. It includes recognition of the effort someone put into getting material things. I agree. My mom always says I'm one of the best gift givers. I've heard a number of people say that about me, and it makes me feel good because I pay attention to the things people like. And I like the little personalized gifts. I like to put thought into a gift, even if a card. I like to put thought into the gift. Like, I'm not going to get somebody some red socks with something and I know that they don't even like the color red. It's purple because I paid attention and I know. Like, if I give you a gift, you're probably not going to take it back to the store. You're not going to re-gift it to someone else because I'm going to pay attention and I'm intentional. And it doesn't even have to be a lot of money. It could be $10 and I can get you a great gift that I know that you would like because I'm paying attention to you, whether it's my friends or whether it's a mate, a man. You know what I'm saying? I'm going to pay attention and I'm going to make sure that you have a quality gift, even if it doesn't cost $1 million, right? It's still going to be personalized in all of that. Like, I've had stuff on and somebody said that they like it and I literally have given it to them or went to get them one just like that, just because they said that. So I pay attention to different things. So that's what some people receiving gifts, that's their love language. It doesn't mean that they're materialistic. It just means that it's a recognition that they like, especially if you get a gift to somebody that don't got to buy it themselves. This gives an example. Once, for example, I took a winter coat out of my closet for the first time in the cold season. I discovered that my husband had put a small piece of chocolate in one of the pockets because he thought it would brighten my day. That's sweet, right? He paid attention. Now, if this husband put the chocolate in his wife's pocket and she was allergic to chocolate or she didn't like chocolate, then it's not going to give the same. It's not going to be given, right? He's gonna be like, wait a minute, I don't even like chocolate. But that's sweet. Now let's talk about quality time. That's a lot of people's love language. If quality time is your love language, put it in the chat if it's your love language, because quality time, I hear that a lot. That's a lot of people's love languages. So let's talk about quality time. Pretty self-explanatory. And it's not about, what's going on with my thing? It's not about how much time you spend, or if you have a lot of time to spend. It's about the quality of the time you spend, making the effort to spend the time and not say, oh yeah, well, I'm busy every single time you want to get together. It's about spending the quality time. What are you doing with the time you spend? People who most identify with the love language of quality time enjoy having meaningful conversation and undivided attention from their partner. Now, this is difficult for some. Why is it difficult? Because Melissa, cousin, you said that's your love language. Oh, quality time is your husband's love language. Shari said it's what I long for, but I accept if I didn't get it because that's my normal. We ain't accepting that you didn't get it. You gonna get somebody, Shira, who is going to give you some quality time. Period. You got to speak that. Don't say you just gonna settle for not getting it because you ain't gotten. Tomorrow ain't happened yet. Later today ain't happened yet. So you still may get it. You will get it. So quality time, people who most identify with this love language enjoy having meaningful conversations and undivided attention. Now, the phones are causing people not to get undivided attention. You ever try to spend quality time with anybody, whether it's your friends, whether it's the person you're in a relationship with, and everybody got their phone? You ever be in a restaurant, right? And you see a couple on a date, and one always got their phone out, or the other one has their phone out. You ever see that? And it's like, how are they spending quality time? Even when I'm with my daughters, my oldest daughter be like, can you put your phone away? My youngest daughter, can you put your phone away? If we're doing something, it is distracting if you're trying to spend quality time, you know? So you have to, that could be your love language with even your family. The last one, and I'm going to end this one went a little longer. Physical touch, physical, literal of the love languages, right? Not just physical intimacy, but warm embraces, hand squeezing, assuring reminders of your proximity. Like they just want you close, right? And doting attention, all conveyed through physical touch for those who this is their primary love language. They just want to be close to you. I just want to be close to you. That's the love language, right? And yours can change. If you get somebody that you want to touch all the time, you'd be like, I didn't know that was my love language. I guess physical touch is my love language. You don't know. I think it depends on where you are in your life. And I think it depends on the people who are in your life, whether he made this for romantic love, but you have love languages also for your friends. It's one I didn't do. I did receiving gifts. I did acts of service. Acts of service, small gestures speak louder than words. You might not need to hear your intimate partner say, I love you, but when they bring you coffee in bed, for example, you know that you are loved. Acts of service, moreover, involve doing something for your partner that you know, again, that hold value and usually without being asked. Again, that's my love language. Girl, I ain't no singer. She said sing, girl. That ain't no sing. Even though I can't hold a note. I like to be in a choir so I can blend in. You heard me on one of my episodes of my podcast, because I know you listen to my podcast, Sheila, Shine with Kendall and Nee. So one of them, I started singing. I said, okay, let me find out. But so that was in words of affirmation. That's another one of my love languages too. Words of affirmation is a love language, entails a lot of verbal reciprocity. People whom words of affirmation, primary love language, enjoy being told explicitly how much they are loved, valued, related to, and seen. That's mine. Like you don't all day long, you don't have to say, oh, I just love you. I love you. I love you for this reason. That words of affirmation is not mine, but to feel seen, to feel related to, right? That kind of, that's a love language of mine. So we have words of affirmation, acts of service, receiving gifts, quality time, and physical touch. Tell me what your love language is. And what, if you are in a relationship, what is your partner's love language? And if you've never taken the test, I suggest take it when you're single, take it when you're in a relationship, and if you're married, take it and see how they change. Take it, maybe at the top of the year, the middle of the year, and the end of the year. It might change. If you take it this year, if you took it this year and then you're going to take it next year, it may change. I've taken it multiple times and things have shifted depending on where I am in life. If I'm single, if I'm in a relationship, if I was married, it changes, through the ages, it changes through the maturity, through the healing or getting to know, who you are. It can change. All right, y'all, this is Fun Friday. It's all about love, and happiness. Talking about love, and my shirt says happiness. Absolutely. This is an affirmation, right? happiness. So if I'm reading it or if somebody else is reading it, that's what they are going to see. All right, this is Morning Conversations. I enjoyed spending this time with you guys. Hey, cousins, all my cousins on Instagram. Woo, woo, woo. You know, they quiet over here on YouTube and Facebook. They might be at work. I don't know. They might be doing it, but we know how we are on Instagram. We used to go live over here. My cousins, my spiritual cousins over here. But so what is your love language? If you haven't taken the test, you know, just Google 5 love languages, Gary Chapman, take the quiz. It's quick. Find out what your love language is and find out if that's your love language. And do you give that same love to yourself? Do you give the words of affirmation to yourself? Do you give quality time to yourself? Do you give gifts to yourselves? Do you give acts of service to yourself? Because to me, you got to give it to yourself first before you can be able to willingly and freely give it to somebody else. All right, y'all, have an amazing day. I want you to be well. Don't go out there causing no commotion, no trouble to nobody. Bring the love and the light to everybody. That's what I might say for now on. Don't cause trouble and commotion to in love to somebody. How about that? Somebody got to text me what I just said so I can say that at the end of everyone, because God just be downloading stuff and I'm not going to remember. So Sheila, Melissa, you know, Shira, text me what I just said. Inbox me. Last one. My love language is spending time, not just with the boyfriend, but family and helping others. Yes, I love you too, Melissa. I love you, Shira. Have an amazing day, y'all. God bless y'all. Peace.